Carlos Thomas Jr. It's another name we got to add to the list this year as amazing bodybuilders that's coming up, young, healthy, excited to compete. What type of damage can this guy do in 2023? Is he ready to compete with the big dogs? Andrew Jack, Hunter Labrada, John De La Rosa's jumping into Tampa Pro. Does he have the tools to beat these guys? Can he place at the Olympia if he makes it? Well, we're going to talk about Carlos's future right now. Guys, Old School Labs is doing a special sale for July. It's Christmas in July, so every day we're going to have different sales. Today, we're doing a sale on vintage brawn. That's right. So be sure to check out the sale we have going on at oldschoollabs.com. When you spend over $100, you unlock a special gift. Check it out right now and be sure to use my code NickBS. All right, so if you follow bodybuilding, I'm sure you have seen photos and videos of Carlos Thomas Jr. lately, and I'm sure he impressed you just as much as he impressed me. And does Carlos Thomas have the tools right now to beat some of the top dogs? Well, we're going to talk about that right now. So Carlos did a guest posing a couple weeks out from the show this year that he's going to be doing, and I got to say, I'm very impressed. And I think finally he's figuring out the conditioning, because in the past, we've seen a lot of muscle on Carlos Thomas. Obviously, look at his freaking legs. These legs have to be the best legs right now in bodybuilding. Some of the biggest, some of the most separated, craziest shaped legs I've ever seen. Not even just for this point in time in bodybuilding. I'm talking about ever. And I know he's not a tall guy. I know he's rather short, but still, the legs are super impressive. The only take back that I have with Carlos having such huge legs is that it throws off his balance, because obviously he's very lower body dominant, but not by that much. His upper body definitely has caught up over the last couple of years. His legs used to be so dominant, I was a little concerned like this was Ramy 2.0 in the beginning of his career, where his legs were just so big. His upper body never really caught up until later on, and obviously he won the Olympia now. So Carlos Thomas is in a much different position and a much better position than Ramy was, because he already kind of like backed off the legs a little bit to get his upper body to catch up. But even then, the legs are still enormous. Like, I cannot wait to see his legs next to Andrew or Hunter or John De La Rosa. And no offense to them, I just want to see how much bigger his legs are than everyone else's. We haven't seen Carlos on that stage yet with the top dog. So he may look absolutely enormous and crazy by himself, or next to amateurs like he was competing against not that long ago, but how is he going to look standing next to Hunter and Andrew and all these really good bodybuilders? That is going to be the true test for him. And will the height hold him back? We know he's big, we know he's heavy, we know he's got freaky body parts, but how will he match up next to Andrew and Hunter? I don't have the answer to that until he gets on stage and we actually see it. No one knows. We can all speculate, but we don't know how he's going to look. And the conditioning, he's gotten harder, he's gotten leaner, but I don't know if it's there yet. I don't know if the skin has the right thinness to it yet. I don't know if his body fat is as low as it needs to be just yet to be competitive with these guys. Because Andrew's going to be on, we know Hunter's on, we know Hunter figured it out, but can Carlos Thomas Jr. bring a package good enough to be competitive with these guys? I'm not saying he has to beat them. I'm not saying he has to win the show or he's going to fail at bodybuilding. I'm just saying, is he going to be competitive? Like, are we going to see a matchup between Hunter and Carlos? Are we going to see a matchup between Carlos and Andrew? If Carlos does Tampa, will we see him compared against John De La Rosa and whoever else shows up? That's what I want to know. I want to know if he's going to be good enough to stand next to those guys, because he could easily drop places if his conditioning is not where we think it is, and if the judges strike him hard for his imbalances, because like I said, the lower body is still a lot bigger than the upper body. It's not that much different anymore, but there's still a discrepancy between the two that I think the judges might be a little hard on him for. And I think until he brings up that upper body, which I don't know if it's impossible, he's going to have that issue where he may get beat by a guy that's not as big and freaky as him because they have better balance and better proportions. And that is the number one criteria that the judges look for. Who is the most balanced guy with the fewest weaknesses? And regardless of what you guys think online, regardless of what I think, I can spot that his legs are still very overpowering compared to his upper body. And like I said, look at his older photos. His upper body was way behind his legs before, but it seems like he's been working very hard with his coaches over the years to bring up his upper body. And he's done a very good job. And obviously, nerves are going to set in the last couple days. He's going to be nervous going out there. Everyone's going to be watching him. Everyone's going to be setting this expectations very high for him. So I don't know how he's going to respond to that either. Will he let the nerves get to him? Will he freaking break down before he gets on stage? Or is he going to hold it all together and prove to us that he's not going to let that pressure get to him, and he's going to show us that he is confident in his abilities and he wants to make it to the Olympia this year? Now, $1 million question. Can Carlos Thomas Jr. win one of these shows next couple weeks and make it to the big dance at the Olympia? That is going to be a tall task because I know Hunter is doing the next two shows, the Texas show and the Tampa show. I know Andrew's doing Texas. We know John De La Rosa's doing Tampa. I don't know. That's going to be a very, very hard battle to win between these guys that have been doing it. They have a lot of mature muscle. They have a lot of experience. Unless something crazy happens here, I don't see Carlos Thomas winning one of these shows, but I definitely see him in the top 5. Now, where in the top 5? I don't know. It depends on who shows up and also if he lets his nerves get to him. If he's in there confident, he's going to be battling it out for the top 3 spot. For sure. But winning at one of these shows in the USA right now is going to be very, very difficult. But that's not a big deal. I don't expect him to win one of these shows out of the gate right now, but I do expect him to show up at his best version yet because I want to see him compared and I want to see what he's made of. You guys let me know what you think below in the comments.